I'm such an old lady. I literally went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night and then woke up right as the ball dropped. Man, I'm getting old. So just like everyone, I make New Year's resolutions at the beginning of every year. I have a bunch this year. I'm obsessed with the piano and music right now and kind of continuing the legacy of my family in music. So that's a huge resolution of mine this year. I actually launched my music channel early in like November, October with a few different songs, but I have a ton more music coming out this year and just music, like piano. I'm obsessing on the piano and just learning and getting better. So that's a huge goal of mine. Of course, I always want to eat healthy. I've been dancing a lot because just kind of picking that back up from my childhood and loving it so much. So I have so many different resolutions, so many different things. But one thing that kind of stays true every year is getting organized, because I feel like I can't think properly if my space isn't organized. And this is kind of my channel. This channel is more of my like lifestyle, more of my home life and what's kind of going on with that. So I do focus more on like home and skincare and just kind of like my family and home life, where my music channel is kind of more of my like, I guess, career focus. So yeah, one of my big goals this year was I looked around. I try to keep my house as organized as possible. I'm slightly OCD and I like to keep things clean, but it's not always possible to do that, especially with a 2-year-old. So I kind of like looked around and assessed in my house what needed some help. And there was a few areas like my craft and holiday closet definitely needed some help. I had my toiletries area with all the paper towels and things like that needed help. My drawers, there were some areas that I kind of decided needed some organization help. And before I can even think about excelling in any other area in my life, I always feel like my space has to be organized and clean. That's just how I function. Otherwise, I get too distracted and feel like there's other things I need to be doing. So the first thing I wanted to get done this year before I do any of my other resolutions is to organize the areas in my house that I felt needed organization. So I wanted to share with you guys what I did, and that's what this video is all about. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. So the first area I decided to tackle is the holiday and craft closet, which no matter how much I tried to kind of organize, it still always looked cluttered to me. So I decided to take everything down, which I knew would take me some time, and divide it all and categorize it all and put it back so that everybody kind of was clear where everything was. So I got these bins from Target in all different sizes. I actually measured the closet itself. I divided it by categories and colors. So I have the colored ornaments, then I have the silver ornaments, and then I had a box for lights and ribbons. Now, depending on the extent of your holiday decor, I didn't have too much, but I did organize it all away. And, you know, depending on the extent of what you have, you might need bigger boxes or a bigger closet. But I think the point is to just kind of categorize and put it all away neatly so you know where everything is. So I started with that. Then I moved to my Easter box, which was only one box because I didn't have too much for Easter. And then I have a lot for fall because I'm a big fan of fall and decorating for fall. My mom used to do it a lot as a kid, so it just brings back really good memories. So yeah, I put all that away in boxes as well. Over the last year or two, I've built up a craft closet, which I was never a crafty type of gal until I realized that doing it in my free time was actually kind of therapeutic and cathartic, and I like to craft when I'm in the mood. So I needed to organize everything and put everything away because whenever I would go back to do a craft, I never really knew where everything was, or it was kind of cluttered. And I did my best to organize, but I did also categorize and put them all in 6 kind of smaller shoe boxes and just stacked them inside of the cabinet. Now, I think that this looks much cleaner, obviously, than what it looked before. And when I'm going to look for something, I will know exactly where it is. And the key to that is labeling. You can get these labels from Staples. These are really cool. You just stick them in your printer, and then they have a website, and for free you can create a customized label. Now, I like to go for something more simple. Oliver was really interested in what I was doing. I went for just a clear label, but I could print out
I think it was like 9 at a time, and you could customize each label. So I wrote Christmas and then specified under Christmas what was in that specific box. That way, when I look at the box, it tells me exactly what's in there. Even though it's see-through, if there's other items, it's pretty clear. Now, this isn't just for someone who's OCD. It actually genuinely helps out when somebody in the family is looking for something specifically, for it to be in a box and to be labeled. It just makes it easier to find things, to be honest. And it doesn't really take that much time. So this was definitely one of my resolutions, to kind of get this specific area in order, because every time we'd go to look for something, I think we'd kind of be frustrated. And I went back and tried to kind of organize everything and make it look good, but it never looked as good as I think what this looks. So I'm pretty happy with this. And then on the side of the door, I actually put a few nails to hang up my ribbon, which I really like how this ended up looking, because it just looked really clean and the ribbon's like right there. You can obviously put your ribbon away in another box, but that's just the way that I did it. So it didn't really take that much extra time, and I was so happy once it was finished. But I wanted to tackle the toiletries area next, which is where I keep Oliver's diapers, wipes, backup toilet paper, and paper towels. Now, this area always inevitably gets just cluttered, and we throw the diapers back in there. I just did not like how it looked. So it was one of my goals to kind of find some bins to organize. I found these bins again at Target. I put all the toilet paper in the big bin, and then paper towels in the medium, and then the diapers in the small. So instead of putting everything in the cabinet, which inevitably becomes cluttered, I decided to have a bin for each specific thing. That way everybody kind of knows where everything goes. And I realized this, especially when we had guests over for Christmas, that people didn't really know where everything was, and that made me feel frustrated. Some of the areas at my house are organized, and there were some areas like the ones I'm showing you today that we just could never, it just always looked cluttered somehow, and so I'm hoping these work out for us. So next I wanted to tackle the pantry, which the pantry is actually one area in my house that stays pretty organized, because when we moved in, we bought a bunch of OXO containers and labeled all of our nuts and dried goods and everything, like the rice and everything is really organized. And my husband's a chef, so he really loves everything to kind of be visible. But the one area that wasn't organized was my teas. So I decided to pull them all out. I love tea. I'm an avid tea drinker. I drink it in the morning and at night. And I have so many different boxes, so I decided to organize it. I got more OXO containers, which you can find at Home Goods, usually on sale. And I'm categorizing the teas so that I have herbal teas in one area and then my green tea in another area. Again, easy to find, and it's not cluttered. Really, the key with organization is just so that you can find everything. And we love how our pantry is, because it's easy to find all the nuts and dried goods and rice, and we know where everything is, pastas and things like that, and you label it. And I love these OXO containers for that reason. So I have a label maker, and I do print out what is in there. So this one's herbal tea, and then I have one for my green tea, and I just went ahead and put that back, and it looked so much cleaner. I order my Paradise iced tea off of Amazon in bulk for the summer, so I keep that in glass mason jars or in glass containers because I have so much of it. But yeah, now all of my teas are organized. The next area I wanted to tackle was Oliver's toys. Now, he's a very lucky little boy, and he has so many toys, and he got even more for Christmas. So I definitely had the goal to go through and purge, and he helped me out. We have little bins, and then we also have a toy chest. But we went through, and I just kind of looked at the toys, and if he hadn't used it, or it was something that he doesn't really play with, we cleaned it off, and we donated it. And yeah, it decluttered his toy area. And also, I think it's just good to do this with kids, especially as they get older, to donate their toys, and not just donate toys that no longer work or are broken or anything like that, but actually good toys, that other kids will love and appreciate. So I got these 2 bins from Target. One was for his Legos and one was for his cars because he's obsessed with Hot Wheel cars. I got rid of, any old coloring books, things like that. The 2 small bins are for his toys that he uses the most, and they really help with teaching him to clean up before bed. So we love those. And then step 5 was to organize my beauty cabinet, which I really like these drawers. I'm trying to find more of these plastic drawers because these ones are a little dingy, but I couldn't find them at Target. So I just got one big, large basket to put everything in because it was starting to kind of look cluttered. I do try to keep that area organized and clean it every once in a while, but I like this big basket a little bit better. And then one area that I have a little bit of an OCD with keeping clean is my drawers, and our drawers in general. It's really hard to do it though, especially when you're trying to keep up with laundry. And as you can see, everything's, kind of all over the place in my shirt drawer right now. The best way for me to keep my laundry organized is to do really small loads every day throughout the day. And then one of my first traditional jobs, I worked in the entertainment industry as a kid, but one of my kind of more traditional jobs was I worked at a store folding clothes. I worked in retail, and ever since then, they gave me like a little clipboard to fold all the clothes, and I kind of became obsessed with it. But this time, I bought these OXO Good Grips, and I try really hard to keep my clothes folded because they can stack really nicely on top of each other. And that's just a trick that I learned that I'll forever use. But I love these little dividers because they kind of help to keep the drawers organized. And the drawers are a forever reworking to keep them organized. But that's where I learned my folding skills. And I still try to kind of keep that in the back of my head because I actually really loved that job. It taught me a lot. I don't always use the clipboard. At this point, I've kind of memorized how to fold it, and especially if I don't have time and I'm in a rush. But I try to go through every once in a while and do it. So yeah, that completes this organization video. Hopefully it inspired you to get organized for the new year. And if you like my videos, thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.